What's up, guys? Welcome to Dynasty Drip, coming at you with buys and sells and dynasty trades and rookie draft picks and everything dynasty related this offseason. Welcome to the channel. If you haven't been here before, if you like what you see, like what you hear, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, shoot me a comment, even if it's, hey, I enjoyed the video. If you have any trade questions, I love helping everyone out. But let's get today's topic kicked off. We're going to do some more dynasty buys this offseason. These are 5 of my favorite players to go acquire in Dynasty right now. Just a bunch of players that I think have a very fair and good value to add to your team. First off, you know it if you've been to the channel before. Our favorite guy in the NFL, Rashid Shaheed, man. I am buying Rashid Shaheed this offseason. He was a top 30 wide receiver before he went down last year, having a breakout season, had an unfortunate kneecap kind of injury, but, he's going to be well rested. He really missed the end of the season, but he's not going to be out all of this offseason. And he's all the way down at wide receiver 52 down on Keep Trade Cut, where I think this guy could be a top 36 wide receiver for your team. I love the addition of Kellen Moore coming in for that offense. I think it's going to be good for Shaheed. I think this would be really good for Alvin Kamara as well. We spoke about him in a previous buy video. My trade idea for Shaheed here, this is going to be fair over on KTC, is going to be 3-8 and 4-8. And what I'm thinking is if you have 3-8 and 4-8, you're a team that just made the playoffs. You didn't win, but you need some more depth. And I don't really think you're hitting on 3-8 or 4-8 to get a difference maker. What we can get is a starter like Rashid Shaheed to add to your lineup to play at wide receiver 3, to play on those bye weeks. Or, with the boom-bust ability of Shaheed, he's someone you can plug in if you go down early on Thursday night and you need someone that's more of a big play threat out of your flex position. Next player, someone who I spoke about briefly in the sell video as one of the options on what we would be selling for, but I love him as a buy this offseason as well, and that's going to be Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison currently wide receiver 20 on KTC. I do think that's fairly fair, but I think there's a kind of a tier where kind of around wide receiver 13 all the way up to kind of 20, 23, I really don't see too much difference in those guys. So I really want to go attack players within that tier that I like, and Jordan Addison is one of those guys. He's had 2 very good seasons for the Minnesota Vikings. He's still going to be there. He's still going to be with Kevin O'Connell. He obviously gets great coverage because Justin Jefferson's on the opposite side. I think this offense is just going to keep cooking with J.J. McCarthy at the helm this year. And I think Jordan Addison may not be underrated, but I think I like the value you can go get him for right now. My idea here is to trade up from a guy I suggested selling. That's going to be Jameson Williams. Can I tier up from Jameson Williams by adding a 4th round pick to go get Jordan Addison, where someone may view that as a free 4th round pick, but for me, I view that as a big gain at my wide receiver 2-3 position, where I really think Addison is just going to be a solid player for your dynasty team, whether he's on the Vikings or if he gets a new contract and moves on towards the end of his rookie deal. Next one I want to talk about is going to be a quarterback, only quarterback for this video. That's going to be Baker Mayfield, currently quarterback 16 on KTC. I just think this is really good value, man. This dude was a top 5 quarterback at times last year. He has the upside. They re-signed Godwin. They brought back Mike Evans. Jalen McMillan started to come on late. They have, Bucky Irving out of the backfield. Good offensive line. They're investing in the defense. I would expect this Tampa Bay offense to kind of keep cooking next year. And I think Baker Mayfield is the perfect quarterback to buy for your dynasty team if you're looking to solidify that position. I'm suggesting trading a 26 first and Rashid Johnson. I think you could kind of throw in your kind of, maybe a flex guy. Let them kind of look through your roster. Be like, hey, do any of these players spike your interest? I'll give you my 26 first plus a little something. That's kind of how I like to attract certain trades like this with players that are worth maybe a little more than a first is you ask the guy you're trading with, hey, man, who do you like on the bottom end of my roster? Who are the guys in that category that you like? I'll give you them and a 1st round pick. I think this would be a great deal for Baker Mayfield, someone who I think is just a little undervalued right now. Probably going to get another contract there in Tampa Bay coming up soon if they're investing in these wide receiver groups. Wouldn't be surprised to see Baker be next on that list to get another quarterback deal done. Next one's going to be a rookie tight end from last year, so a sophomore tight end now. It's going to be Theo Johnson. I just think Theo Johnson has some talent. He's basically not valued at all right now. He had some decent games last year. Giants obviously have Malik Neighbors. We don't know who's going to be at quarterback for them unless that changes by the time this video uploads. But currently, tight end 27 in what's a strong tight end class. So I really don't think anyone really cares too much about Theo Johnson. For me, though, I just think he has a little upside. I think we saw it last year when he was the main tight end taking over for Bellinger. I'm suggesting trading Audric Estime, someone who I'm totally fine just getting rid of to get an upside piece. I don't think Denver's going in with Estime as their main guy. And even if they are, he's more of a bruiser type. I don't think he's going to get any of those special passing down work. That's going to go to McLaughlin or probably a guy they're going to draft in the NFL draft this year. So I think you get out from Estime now before his value goes even further down. But Theo Johnson has a shot, and I love getting these low risk, high upside tight ends on the bottom end of my roster that if they start to hit, you can move them, right? Because a top 12 tight end is a starter for someone else's team. Whereas a top 40 wide receiver, yes, they may have more value, but they're not a starter. So sometimes tight ends can actually open up trades that you didn't really think were possible. And the last one here is going to be a running back, a guy I really liked from last year, and that's going to be Ray Davis. Now, obviously James Cook had the monster year. Ray Davis was worked in a little bit, but I think Ray Davis is kind of this perfect guy to put on the back end of your roster where he's going to be involved probably a little more in the offense. Curious to see what they do with that backfield split. I mean, James Cook had a monster year, but it wasn't that he had some 80% touch share. They did work in guys like Ray Davis and Ty Johnson. So I think Ray Davis in year 2, he's going to know the system a little better. Wouldn't be surprised to see his touches increase from last year. And also, man, this is a high-end handcuff that, I never want to wish an injury on anyone, but I think Ray Davis has the potential to be a top 10 guy if James Cook were to go out, just due to his potential red zone threat. And I think he's just a do-it-all kind of player. I'm suggesting trading Demario Douglas, a guy who I think is about to be buried on that Patriots offense. He's already kind of buried. I mean, he has some okay PPR weeks, but he's really not too much of a trustworthy guy. If they had any weapon in this draft, Demario Douglas really doesn't become that valuable. There have been some hype tweets, hype stories from Vrabel about he likes Javon Baker. Jalen Polk is still there. Keyshawn Bote, the tight ends, Austin Hooper coming back. I don't know. I just think for now I'd rather go the high-end running back who's a handcuff, where if he takes over as the starter due to an injury, I can either ride him as an every-week starter or I can trade him to the James Cook owner for a second-round pick maybe, or 2 or 3 and something like that. But thank you guys for joining the channel for another buy video, a little buy now session on Dynasty Drip. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, shoot me a comment below if you have players you want talked about, if you have any video ideas, if you have any trade questions. I am here to help you. I'm here to help you win your league. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you later.